Welcome back, true believers and all you spectacular Spidey fans, to another very interesting Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales related video, because today is getting very, very interesting. Today, the official reviews for the game have been released. All of them, of course, are praising the game with 8s, 9s, and even some 10s because of how incredible it looks graphically, of course, with the gameplay. I'm hearing some mixed things about the story, but for the most part, it is very, very good. Whether or not it can beat that of Spider-Man PS4, or if it did manage to top Spider-Man PS4's narrative, depends on the person who played the game. I am very curious to see exactly how the narrative of Miles Morales will unfold. But today, on November 6th, we have a full-on live stream that is occurring for Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales that is being led by the game's creative director, Brian Horton, as well as the senior animator, James Ham, and someone from Marvel by Angelique Roche. And they're all great, and I am very interested to hopefully see more about Miles Morales in action, maybe a possible story trailer. I am watching the live stream, of course, live, so if it turns out that most of his gameplay we've already seen, or if it's something exciting, I'll probably just snip out the parts if it shows like a story trailer or something really important like that. And on top of that, they also revealed the 2 final suits for Spider-Man Remastered on PlayStation 5, which look okay, in my opinion. Of course, the main one that a lot of people are excited to wear, including myself, is the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man 1 movie suit. Looks great. The other 2 are very interesting because they are, surprisingly, official Insomniac designs, just like the Advanced suit, the Resilient suit, the Anti-Ox suit, as well as the Velocity suit that Insomniac crafted specifically for Spider-Man PS4, which all looked phenomenal. But now we also have the suits revealed for the remaster with 2 original suits of the Armored Advanced suit and the Arachnid Ryder suit. Now, to begin with, the one that I actually dislike is the Armored Advanced suit, which you might find crazy since I love the Advanced suit, as you can see behind me with Spider-Man PS4. That is literally my favorite Spider-Man costume of all time. I think it looked phenomenal in the game. It looked even better in the remaster gameplay that we saw with Spider-Man PS5. But this new suit feels a bit redundant, considering how we already pretty much got an Armored Advanced suit by the end of Spider-Man PS4 with the Anti-Ox suit, which, in my opinion, also looks phenomenal. And one aspect about it that I do find interesting is that it does have like the red and white color aesthetic, as well as the main basic chest palette design of the Advanced suit on the front, but then covered and kind of sprinkled in through the sides and the legs and the arms, but then also these kind of like blank white armored pieces scattered throughout the suit, which look alright, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of the tracksuit for Miles Morales as well, because they kind of share a similar color palette design to the PlayStation 5 console. You know, the whole white and black aesthetic for Miles Morales' tracksuit, but same thing here again with the red and a lot of primary white included within the Armored Advanced suit, which is only going to be specifically tailored at first on the remaster, but then they're going to include those suits later on onto the PS4 down the line. And the final one, which I do think actually looks very interesting, is the Arachnid Ryder suit, which does have a much more, of course, animated aesthetic. For those of you who aren't into anime, that's pretty much referring to the, I think it's pronounced Kamen Rider, kind of like Power Rangers pretty much, but that's kind of what that suit is referencing, I would assume, based on that title alone. But the design is interesting. I like kind of like the more vibrant aesthetic that it has going on, the massive spider symbol. I'm always a fan of that. The head-shaped design looks like a helmet pretty much, kind of like a knight, like the Spider Knight costume, but more, I guess, out there for this design. Very, very intriguing. Again, you guys know me. I'm not the biggest fanatic when it comes to suits. I know a lot of people are disappointed that they did not get the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. However, we do have the Amazing Spider-Man 1 suit. For me, though, I'm going to be rocking the Advanced suit the whole time, of course. You know me. I'll probably wear them in the game just to try them out, but I'm not, like, super hyped to see those costumes in the game, when, of course, a lot of people really wanted the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, or the Sensational Spider-Man suit, or the Bullet Point suit, or, you know, the Identity Crisis suits. I hope not, because those costumes aren't that great. But very, very cool, nonetheless, that we are at least getting new costumes in general for both Spider-Man PS4 and Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. Very excited to actually play the remaster itself, besides that of the new Peter Parker face model, the gameplay aesthetic itself of swinging around the city, the DualSense controller, the haptic feedback, the 3D audio, all that's being included within the remaster, and Miles Morales is going to be the cherry on top of next-gen gaming. Specifically, if you are a massive Spidey fan, that will get you extremely hyped to see where the future of the franchise could go with, of course, Miles Morales, but also the official sequel with Marvel's Spider-Man 2, most likely controlling the symbiote black suit as a core gameplay mechanic. That's what I'm intrigued about the most. They already showed off some graphic comparisons with the reviews for Miles Morales on PS4 and PS5. The PS5 is obviously the most superior graphically enhanced version of the game, but the PS4 still looks good. However, by the time the official sequel comes out, I do think that will be exclusively only on PlayStation 5. Not PS4 and PS5 like Miles, where it's a cross-gen title, which is very consumer-friendly, but by the time the official sequel comes out, I'm assuming 2022 or 2023, we will probably have that game only be on the next-gen platform of the PS5. That's way ahead of time. You know, I'm thinking way in advance, but still, I'm super excited to see the future of Spider-Man in gaming. And so far, Miles Morales looks like it's going to be an A+. Again, my game of the year for 2018, 10 out of 10 score was Spider-Man PS4. I'm sure Miles will maybe satisfy my overall desire of a Spider-Man game. It looks phenomenal, but I don't know if the story for Miles will be able to top Spider-Man PS4, but we will see. But anyways, the stream is now starting, everybody, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut in case they reveal anything exciting, but until we meet each other again, let us begin the stream. Alright guys, that was the end of the live stream. I cut off probably the big chunk of it, but they had a big interview between James Hamm and Brian Horton. It was great. I love the passion that they have for the character of Miles as a whole, trying to make him as different as possible from Peter, while also breathing new life into him that we haven't necessarily seen before in any other medium. I really, really liked what they were discussing, and I think that they are definitely on the right track to making this one of, if not the most beloved interpretations of Miles that we've seen. Of course, we have Into the Spider-Verse, some of the cartoons, and the comics, but in a big mainstream format. You know, we haven't had a live-action movie of him. We did see him in the first game, but not as a main character. This is the first big next-gen release of a superhero game ever, and it's kicking off with none other than Miles Morales. Not Peter Parker as Spider-Man, not Miguel O'Hara as Spider-Man, not even Spider-Woman. It's Miles Morales as Spider-Man, leading the forefront into next-gen with his own game is great. Now, granted, it's going to be a shorter experience than Spider-Man PS4. I think I heard somewhere it was 10 to 15 hours. That is if you do include side missions. So without side missions, it might be 8 hours. That is a bit odd. It's probably not, you know, it gauges from different players to players. But again, that's expected since this game is like an Uncharted Lost Legacy type of title. It's a standalone spin-off. It's shorter. It's mainly a Miles story, so there's not going to be a whole lot of massive stuff that I would assume, you know, goes into like, here's Venom, here's Green Goblin by the end of the game, for example, but still a lot of cool things nonetheless to try and showcase why Miles is just as special as Peter. And I'm very excited to see that, and I am in love with what Insomniac have done with Spider-Man PS4 and everything we've seen now for Miles. Less than a week away. It's getting really close, you guys, and I cannot wait. But until then, let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like to the video and subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy. And without further ado, peace out.